grass is cut and the drinks are cold. It's time for your Thursday kickback about all things rap. Go feature and pass with your host,
Troydashow
and Lucid the Dreamwaker. And this is the Therapyard Podcast.
Man, it's always something. Let me see here. How are you doing, everybody? Welcome to the Therapyard Podcast. We have a couple special guests today. We have Deseree Rose from TikTok, and I don't know if you can hear the rain, but there's nothing I could do about that. And we have a guest co-host today, DJ Poop Pressure, who is here. I'm trying to get my camera in order. Woo!
Technical difficulties.
No, never that. I put my headphones on. Man,
I can't see the viewers or the comments.
That's all right. It's the chat. There we go. Away.
Oh, we're not live yet.
Yeah, we are. Yeah, we are.
What's going on?
Drop a comment if we're live. Let's see some fire emojis. So yeah, like I was saying, we have a guest tonight that is sort of TikTok famous, I guess you could say, right?
Yeah, definitely. What I stumbled across her page the one night, and she was debunking the Kendrick stuff as far as the beef and everything like that. So I thought it'd be pretty interesting to hear her theories and figure out what she heard.
Right.
So she's gonna do it. She's gonna do it for us. And
I was like, why don't I hear anything in my headphones? They're not even plugged in.
Oh, Jesus Christ!
Fucking God damn it! All right. So yeah, she'll be joining us any minute now.
Shout out to Honey Bunny for just joining the. Oh, she heard it. Fire emojis. Yeah, we're live.
Thank you. All right. Other than the Kendrick and Drake beef, which has been going on for ages now, and it's still kind of a hot button topic because there's always some new like Easter egg in the Kendrick song or some kind of new development on, sneak diss, blah blah blah. Right?
He's just a genius in my opinion. Like.
Well, yeah, we're Team Kendrick creative over here.
Yeah, Team Kendrick all day, baby. Let's go.
Almost as much anti-Drake as we are Team Kendrick, and if you don't like that, you can go check out.
I used to like Drake. I used to like him until he started messing with Kendrick, and I told everybody he does not want to fight that battle. I'm sorry, like it's just.
Yeah, and I mean, I've never liked Drake. That's not a secret on here. But if you mess with Drake, you can go over to DJ Academic's show. That's fine.
Right, facts. It's crazy. I have Euphoria loaded up right now.
There we go. Okay. Headphones cutting in and out. Boop. Boop. Actually, these headphones just suck. That's what it is.
Maybe Santa, I get you a pair for Christmas.
Yeah.
Everybody still believes in Santa, right? I do.
For Hanukkah or whatever. Yeah. Everyone believes in Hanukkah. What the hell am I saying? So let's talk about this New Orleans trip. We'll be down there March 24th through the 28th and the 27th. Thank you. But we're going to be hosting a couple of events there. The first one will be Wednesday night at the Cafe Istanbul, and that will be a open mic thing that's happening anyway. And but we will be, intermittently kind of emceeing that open mic night. And then the Thursday, the day after that, will be at a different event that we're actually hosting 100%, and that'll be on the east side, and it's going to be just different artists throughout the city that want to, participate. There's still time. There's still spaces. We have 9 spots open, and there will be a contest. We'll be the judges as well as 2 other prominent music figures in the community. We'll be judging to see who wins the best performance, and they will get a prize package, which is promotional stuff from us and an appearance on the show.
You said also some of the proceeds and stuff will go to a local charity around that area, correct?
Absolutely. So,
did you have one in mind, or are you just?
Yeah, it will be going to the Covenant House, and there's an artist down there named Lucky Lou, who I believe is predominantly a bounce artist, but he has a charity that helps kids like stay off the streets and teaches them dance and stuff. So
that's awesome. So if anybody's out there tuning into the Rap Yard podcast right now, and you heard that, most of the proceeds will go to a charity. So if you want to do something great in your community, we appreciate if you reach out or just come check out the venue and being a part of our event. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. Who just got shot?
I'm
All
just
right.
shooting.
Yeah, you're just shooting. You don't care who, like
Yeah.
Yosemite Sam or something over here.
Yeah, we got the railroad. Oh no, that's the wrong one. My bad. We got the
Hey,
railroad.
I got some. I don't know if you can hear him though. Hold on. Did you hear that? Wait, stop making noises. Ready? You didn't hear that?
It sounds like hello, but you can't hear it clear.
Oh, that's Borat. Okay, what about this one? Can you hear it?
No.
Oh, damn. All right, never mind. Let's just bring our guests on. We have
Let's go.
Des and Anthony. Her TikTok handle is Deseree Rose.
What's
Welcome,
going on,
welcome,
people?
welcome.
Welcome.
What's going on?
You
guys?
are
How
great.
are we?
How are you?
I love the drops. Just keep making train noises.
Oh, that's
whenever you want.
Don't say that.
Where I'm from, like if you ever play Monopoly, it says the Reading Railroad on there. I'm from Reading, so
Yeah.
you know that's.
Oh, I didn't even know
Silly.
that.
That makes sense.
Silly.
Okay.
That's the big claim to fame, not the fact that John and Kate plus 8 live there.
Oh man, come on! Don't start with the.
That is where John,
No, John
Kate plus 8
Gosselin
lives.
lives out here.
Oh, just her, not Kate. Just
Yeah,
John.
John Gosselin lives
Oh,
out here.
yeah.
I pulled this up the other night when you were playing. What's his name? This guy.
Who is that?
It's a freaking Don Tolliver.
Oh
made
yeah,
it. Yeah. Somebody.
that's
made
fire.
it. It's fire.
Yeah.
Is that
No,
on
I didn't do
Etch-a
it. No, it's on
Sketch?
my iPad. I
You
didn't
don't like
do
it?
It's,
Oh, okay. I
huh?
was like,
You want to see it again? All
I
right,
was
here.
like, wait a minute.
I thought it was Stevie Wonder.
It's like it's like a meme of him.
I was like, this is a weird
Yeah.
Yeah. Who is this man?
I thought it was Stevie. I swear.
It does kind of look
I'm
like him.
sweating over
Tell me
here.
who.
But anyways, so you had an interesting post on TikTok, Ms. Desiree, that was about the Kendrick versus Drake beef and your theories about that. And it pointed back to a video, I guess you referenced. I wasn't able to find it, but talking about these theories you had previously before, I guess, other people started coming out with them. You want to
Yeah, I see it.
expound?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll let him take it away because he's the real
Oh, really?
rap head. Like,
She's
yeah.
like the literature and like just
I'm
creative.
I'm a
I got
like,
you.
word nerd,
Yeah, and I love hip hop. Like that's
and
my
we're
bag.
both in radio, and
Yeah.
I'm like really into. I
Right.
love music too, but he's like been very invested in everything for
I
a
got
very
you.
long time.
Yeah. So we made a video.
Okay.
It's on
Let me
YouTube.
pull that up
You can
then.
look it up. My account, I think it only has 3 videos, and
Yeah, they're
it's
all the same.
Okay.
It's all the same
We've made like I don't know
We-
over 10 hours of content about
Wow.
Drake and Kendrick.
Yes, but from starting 4 years ago,
Yeah.
actually January 26th of 2021.
So wait a
is when we
second.
Yeah,
started.
You
so
got-
it would have been 5 years ago.
You said
today.
3 or 4 videos? But
3 or
10,
4 videos.
so
that's
they're
the
10
whole channel.
hours. So that's
Yeah, it's about 10. Well, it's kind
I
of
would-
split up. We have the first hour is on YouTube, and
First hour and a half or so.
yeah, we have about 20,000 views on that, and it's been around in circulation in the community. I feel like a small community.
Yeah, it's a
But-
very niche community.
And it's ended up on Reddit and it's ended up on Twitter. But the original theory from 4 years ago,
It was
we
like
did
3.5
3
hours
hours.
long.
Yeah, we did like 3.5 hours, and we couldn't do video. You know how hard it is to do video in long format. So we did an hour video of the breakdown, the main
original,
beef of it,
yeah.
and then we did another hour and a half on the podcast. And then
So there's like an hour. There's like an hour and 50 minutes of just audio. on my
okay. So
podcast
what
channel.
YouTube channel would I go to find the best example of this?
You would go to. Hang on, let me pull it up. I'm not gonna leave the stream. You guys still see
yes.
me? Okay, so you just have to go at Anthony Imbrunone. I know it's Italian, so ANTHONY
well, and we can post it.
IMBRUNONE 3114. I don't know why they added numbers onto it.
The easiest way to find it is Drake and Kendrick Decoded, or the Poetic Drake and Kendrick Decoded is what it's called on
Or decoding Drake and Kendrick.
Decoding Drake and Kendrick, yeah. And it's been like somebody else like ripped it off about a week after us, and it got like over 100,000 views. And that video's taken down. I don't know where that one.
I don't
Well,
know
it's
where
good
it
that it
went,
was
but-
taken down,
Yeah,
right?
Right? Yeah, they stole your content.
Yeah, we've had
I mean,
been
I'm
weird
cool
journey
with
this
I'm
series.
like, here's the thing. I'm so cool with people talking about it. I don't care because our channel isn't monetized, so we don't make a dime off of views, off of likes, off any of it. We're just trying to put people on game because the way I look at it is this is one of the coolest finds ever.
Can I ask you a question? Like
right,
when you
and I
first
think
heard
we're
the
right.
song, was that what stuck out the most? Was like
Which song are we talking about first?
Poetic Justice. I have it.
Okay.
Poetic Justice.
Yeah, why don't you tell
so
them? Like,
yeah, I'll walk through it. Okay, so yeah, now that you guys know where the channel is and everything like that. So I love hip hop. I'm born and raised in the suburbs of Detroit. Like Eminem was huge in my life. Like that was my gateway into it, right? And it's a great gateway because he's one of those ones who writes his own stuff. Like he's meticulous with it. And I love artists who write their own stuff. So like Logic, J. Cole, Kendrick Lamar, like those dudes to me are a tier above, you know, a lot of other rappers because I know a lot of other rappers will take a verse from someone. And to me, I don't respect that stuff. So the first time I heard Poetic Justice, it went over my head like everyone else, right? Because when you think about it, Good Kid, Mad City was released, in 2012, 2013?
Yeah, it was a radio bop, I remember.
It was a radio bop for a little bit. Like, it charted to, 25, you know, I think its peak was.
You're talking about Poetic Justice.
But,
not the album.
Mad City. No, the whole album is just a cult classic now. But I understand what you're saying.
Yeah, it's fantastic. It's incredible.
Yeah.
But, my first time hearing it, it didn't connect. I only connected with that and then thought of this when... So, I was in radio, and I got furloughed, and I had a bunch of time on my hands because it was the pandemic. So, the only thing I was doing was, trying to, mentally cope with what was going on in my life. And I was working out, and a buddy of mine, Preston, told me, he's like, hey, just take time, since you have this gift, and study other people's music. And I'm kind of a curmudgeon. You can't show me new stuff at all.
Oh, so you're what you would call an old head backpack rap fan. Okay.
Yes. But my buddy Preston goes, you love X, Y, and Z. You love all these rappers, but you've never studied Pac. You've never run down a Jay-Z rabbit hole. I love Kanye West, but I never studied his stuff.
He's on the spectrum too. So when he gets in a
fixated
zone, he doesn't.
Your special interest.
Yeah. And so
I feel you.
Yeah. He just went. All he did was listen to every discography.
I went through
everyone
that
for weeks and weeks and weeks.
It was ridiculous. A ridiculous amount of music consumption.
I didn't sleep. He would wake me up all the time.
Yeah, I'd be like, this is
so exhausting.
So I'm up one night, and this is right after I had gone down the Tupac rabbit hole. I went through a Tupac phase there.
Don't we all though? But I hear you.
For real. And I was never one of those people who was on Pac to begin with. So I felt oh my gosh, this is fantastic. It's just incredible music.
He's Italian, so Columbus discovered the New World, discovered Pac.
Damn. Damn. Columbus did, huh? All right.
So I'm through the West Coast stuff, and I'm up one night because I can't sleep because I'm stressed, and that song, Poetic Justice, comes on. And it just so happened to be on the tailspin of studying everybody's stuff, right? And I thought to myself, there's no way that Drake wrote this verse because it's so deep. If you really look at it,
because I never really delved. I
got the song here, but go ahead.
I'm just gonna pull lyrics up.
The lyrics themselves it's so deep, right? And then I just start thinking to myself, there's no way that he wrote that verse. And this is on the tail of King Kunta and everybody kind of saying oh, he's kind of throwing shade at Drake, because he's sharing bars, stuff like that.
King
all of that
Koopa's
stuff had already been out there.
King Kunta's on King Koopa, To Pimp a Butterfly. And what was the album? It was, what was it? So it was Good Kid, Mad City, and then what was it one? It was another album before that one, right? Or no, I might be wrong. There you go. There you go.
Right?
Yeah.
Section 80.
Section 80.
Section 80.
Good Kid, Mad City.
And then Good Kid, Mad City.
To Pimp a Butterfly.
And then
it was To Pimp a Butterfly, and then Untitled Unmastered.
Yeah. And the timeline of this is really important. And in the full breakdown, we break down the whole timeline. It's a very dynamic theory because that was kind of the thread he started to pull on. He like woke me up at like 2 a.m. He was like, "Oh my God, Kendrick Lamar got Drake to
Yeah, so getting back to that, like, yeah,
on
so like,
Poetic
all right, so how did Kendrick get Drake to diss himself on Poetic Justice? Explain that to us.
Well, I got the lyrics pulled up right here.
Oh,
If
okay,
we could
here
go
we
like
go.
bar by bar.
If you walk through the lyrics, right, like, and this was the line that really stood out to me, was with all these seductive photographs and all these one-off vacations you've been taking. But really, like, if you go and you look at it, so not through Rap Genius, if you go to like Apple Music, if you go to a different source, it's taken,
Okay.
Taken, like you've been taken, like you've been had, you've been got. And then I just started thinking to myself, like, this is a really deep verse from Drake at a time when we were getting a bunch of like shallow.
You can call me
rap
on
from him,
myself.
you know?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Right,
Hotline
like-
Bling and
and
shit.
then the references he's making, yeah, it doesn't make sense like that it would be him, like him saying like, you don't run from where you come from, like,
Right, like, he's Toronto.
Like, it doesn't make sense for the song, and especially when you pair it with the music video. I'm like an MTV kid, so I grew up glued to MTV in the 90s. At the height of it, it was just music videos, right? So like to me it always adds more of what the artist's like true meaning was, like whatever they couldn't say in the song they say in the music video, and that was kind of what really sold it for me, because he was like he had to convince me, and I'm like, we are too white to be talking about anything to do with Kendrick Lamar, or you know, because this was right.
I mean, you can talk about whatever you want. I mean, music has no color. I say, like, music doesn't have a color. If you want to speak on it, like, speak on it.
Well, we knew it was sensitive because
of what was going on.
What we discovered, like digging into this is so much more than just a diss to Drake. Because what the basic theory is that he wrote this entire verse and Drake just rapped
on
it
some
he doesn't
like on some
stuff.
I'm sorry, Sugar Hill Gang stuff.
Yeah.
You know.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so he got him to say, I could never right my wrongs unless I
write them down for real.
And basically got him to diss himself. Like the whole song's a diss. I mean, but when you start pulling on that thread, then you figure out Buried Alive is a diss.
Yep.
On Drake's album. And this is a diss. On Kendrick's album, he dissed himself on Kendrick's album. And then he goes on and he disses him on fucking Problems.
Yeah.
It was
Yo,
like,
me and my daughter was just talking about the fucking Problem song, and it says, you know, Drake has some catchy lines on there. My daughter we just said this yesterday. He said he has some catchy lines on there, but she was like, when you listen to the song fucking Problem, she was like, what verse sticks out the most? And I said, Kendrick's. Like he smokes the whole he smokes the whole song, like the whole rest of the song.
That was when I first really kind of, I had heard about him before, but I didn't really like, you know, I heard Control and I was like, damn, but I didn't really like dig deep. And then
I remember where I was the first time I heard that. It was like such a profound moment.
And what we realized was like Control's where he figured it out. Control's where Drake figured out
what happened.
Like because his reaction compared to everybody else was so dramatic, but it makes sense when you realize he didn't understand like the lyrics. He didn't understand what he allowed Kendrick to do on his album. He didn't understand that he got him to diss himself because he's
not that bright.
Write his own stuff and he doesn't have a connection. Yeah, he's not on that level. And what Kendrick was trying to do was force him back into pop.
Yep.
And kick him out of rap because of what he was doing. Like he wasn't, you know, he's not being genuine, and rap I mean, like to understand Kendrick, just watch Dear Mama. Like,
watch that documentary, Tupac documentary.
Someone named Hero Yahweh says they're banned from Instagram. I'm gonna tell Neff to send y'all my number.
I don't know who that is. He says Big Take.
Hey, hold on. If that's Big Take, it's Big Take. Yeah. Okay. Because I was trying to find him. He's been on the show before, and you keep changing your name, dude. So I don't. The Hero Yahweh. I was like, who the hell is that? Yeah, tell them to send your number. That's cool. Yeah, do that. But yeah, so good.
So
somebody said,
go ahead.
Who's the white guy on the tractor? Oh, that's our mascot.
That's my daughter.
Kaylee, not the white guy on the tractor. In the comments. Moving on. Okay, so this is a lot of I want to say speculating from like a very let's say skeptical standpoint, right? So if I was a complete skeptic, let's say a Drake stan, whatever, And let's just say for devil's for whatever that is, devil's argument. Is that right? It sounds wrong.
Yeah.
Thank
Devil's
you.
advocate. Go
Okay,
ahead.
so you're talking about, a lot of like, general stuff. Like he's dissing himself. What specific lyrics are you talking about just in this Poetic Justice that?
I mean, the entire verse is Kendrick speaking to rap and to the community through Drake. Now that I have your favorite rapper speaking to you, now that I have
really
your
hope
attention,
you play this because,
oh
girl, you test my patience.
Old girl being rap.
Old girl being hip hop, rap, the game.
What's up, Kay?
Yeah.
With all these seductive photographs and all these one-off vacations you've been taking.
That's Drake. He's the one-off vacations. Yeah. He's fast food for your brain. He raps about nothing. You've been taken, you've been got, you've been had because they're giving you nothing.
Do you feel like any of this possibly could be just devil's advocate, a reach maybe a little bit, or not at all? Okay,
no, not at all. When you
give us some more theories that back that up.
Yeah. Like,
oh yeah. Okay, so after Control, right, we get the BET cipher. The BET cipher is really kind of what also kind of
you talk about the jokes on you, high five, that part.
I'm bulletproof.
Like he breaks it down and pretty much says, hey, like the industry tried to shut me up. They tried because like of what he did to Drake, and I can't remember all the lyrics right off the top of my head. But yeah, we break it down.
We go into Control too,
because he's a little bit more like I feel like he's talking very frank in that, But
if you pull open the lyrics again too, you can go down and like what further solidifies it for me at least is Kendrick's second verse on the song, where he goes in and then at the end he goes, read slow and you'll find gold mines.
I don't have to pull it up. Y'all have it memorized.
Yeah.
It's been 5 years of this. You know what I mean? Like
4 years.
4 years. Yeah. And then really like
I mean, what's really spooky is if you go back and you watch our first video from 4 years ago. Before we got online and talked about it at all, we looked it up and made sure that nobody else really
had this take or had this.
You did your research.
Like see what other people.
So is this the original video that you were talking about? Okay.
Yes.
All right.
Yeah. And if you watch that video, it's kind of spooky the way that like it sounds like
we recorded it yesterday, and not the way that we like and everything that we're talking about. We got straight from the lyrics. Yeah.
We got straight.
Now this intro
lyrics.
is kind of like breaking down.
Oh, it's great. We made the intro together.
Yeah, we made the intro.
We were really into intros.
I'm just gonna play with the sound off for a second because the captions are on. We can kind of see. Yeah. Let me show it today. You asked as well. We
were playing Pac. Yeah, I was playing an interview with Pac because it's all about Pac, Kendrick.
It comes back to the movement. It comes back to what Pac was doing before he died. Like, everything with Kendrick is
about furthering what Pac was doing originally.
Yeah.
It's revolutionary stuff. This isn't just rap. This isn't just
because Pac elevated beyond race. Like he got into class. He got into socioeconomic stuff.
And he was talking about class warfare in the 90s. And his mom was talking about it in the 70s.
In the 60s.
Yeah, she was in the Panthers.
So it's like
Afina Shakur,
Afina Shakur. Yeah. An incredible woman. So when you realize that
and Amigo, that's another clue. He puts it all throughout his music. And Amigo. And it was on the Poetic Justice video.
Mm-hmm.
Enemigo means
enemigo,
okay.
Yeah.
And then the Drake God, the music video just makes it.
And that's the craziest thing to me too, because it's like, in order to pull something like this off, you would have to have it be like a small group of people who know, right? Like, and Kendrick actually talks about that on Euphoria, where he says, the very first time I shot me a Drake, the homie had told me to aim it this way. I didn't point down enough. Today I'll show you I learned from my mistakes.
It went over
everyone's head. And if you know Kendrick and you like listen to his stuff,
it's so deep.
He's so deep and he's calculated.
Yeah. Well, and you can tell too, he had a code. Like he went from Section 80 where he was just like it was like Pac. It was like it just very blunt, very like saying what he means, and then he goes into Good Kid, Mad City, and he still has the same message, but it's all buried. And he talks about that in Buried Alive. He's not talking about, you know, he's talking about burying his message. He has to bury his message. He's playing out this whole script of like having this meeting with Drake, and Drake's telling him you can only rap a certain way now, and you don't belong to yourself anymore. You belong to the industry, and you have to act a certain way. And so he buries himself alive with money and power and pussy and fame, and he's buried alive. His message is buried in the music. And so everything is coded, and Poetic Justice was his love letter. And then he says in The Heart Part 3, are you going to let hip hop die on October 22nd?
That was a release date or something.
That was a release date for
that was good. Mad City's release date. So
he's been dropping nuggets. He wants people to figure this out because it's so.
Well, did you see the commercial with him for the Super Bowl? Did you decode that?
Yeah.
So check it out. So on Drop and Give Me 50, he said, he said that on a Drop and Give Me 50 song, he said, SZA got you wiped out. Some. But if you look at the commercial.
SZA got you wiped out. Travis got you wiped out.
If you watch the commercial, the girl that dumps the Gatorade on Kendrick is SZA, and he's standing on the 50-yard line. And if you look in the background,
here I got it pulled up right here.
Yeah. It's wild. Like when you like sit there and you look how like calculating he is. Like, right. Yeah, here we go. Look.
Hold on.
He's up with it. Yeah, everything's smooth. I'm on the field right now. Yeah, same old, keeping the body in motion. Getting that wind up. This field a lot bigger than what people think, so that's a must.
Them people marching back there, I think he's going to bring Tyler to the Super Bowl for that.
That would be so cool. I have no idea. It's Kendrick Lamar, so I really have no idea what to say.
This song's so dirty. I like it. What do you? That's Peekaboo, right? Correct.
Yeah, that's Peekaboo.
Oh no, that's Hey Now. Yeah, that's Hey Now.
Oh, you're right.
Hey Now.
Peekaboo. Did you know that's about Triple X?
He put me on.
I just find I got to. I'm debunking y'all. So
yeah.
No. Like honestly, we haven't. Like we purposely have not sat down and looked at Gene X because when we get going, like it feels like our brain is.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah, you got to check out the Peekaboo.
We don't have the time
references
right
behind
now.
Peekaboo and it's how because I guess all right. So I was wondering why Kendrick kept putting Kodak on a lot of his stuff. So here to come to find out that that Kodak was locked up with the people that killed X.
Yeah.
And they told Kodak that, how much they got paid and who sent them to kill him.
Who did it, yeah.
And who did it. So on the song actually there's another song he references on. I'm not sure, don't get me lying. But I know for a fact on Peekaboo, he says Peekaboo 17 times and then it's like the 17th track on X's album or some crazy shit.
He was shot 17 times, something like that.
Was he?
I don't know, something like that. I thought that's what you were telling me, or maybe I read that somewhere. It could be wrong.
I know he says Peekaboo 17 times, and it has to do with X.
Yeah.
But when you get a chance, to check that out,
when you're ready to rev up again,
yeah, that's gonna mess with you a little bit because I was like, yo, that's crazy.
We're on the radio grind. We don't have time right now to do too much.
But yeah, you can go to that part right
here
because that's where we do the video breakdown. Okay. Yeah.
All right, let's check this out.
Whatever they feed you, they want your money. They want your compliance. They want your distraction.
Yes.
They do not want you to organize. They do not want you to communicate. They do not want you to elevate yourself.
No. And elevate your consciousness, your state of mind.
Yeah. And he goes on to say,
that's so profound.
N-word, don't approach. I don't know what to say right there. I'm going to replace the N-word with Drake. We'll just say that.
Hold on. That is so freaking funny. Oh, my God.
I say fella now.
Fella?
Yeah, we say fella.
You do what you gotta do. I just close my mouth. But
that just made me laugh.
Drake, don't approach her with that Atari.
Well, when you're reading lyrics.
Drake, that ain't good game, homie. Sorry. He says, don't keep perpetuating. And it's not just Drake. And when I say Drake, I mean
Drake
anybody.
It's a metaphor for anyone that lacks a message.
Anyone who has benefited from the industry but has not used their platform and to say something
and progress
the movement, because rap again is a movement.
So for good, for bad, not good, basically using their powers for bad.
Well, yes, because that's
taking away from the culture, right?
Well, I mean, and we work in radio, so we understand how censored everything is right now, like literally completely censored. if you're wondering why radio sucks, well, you're in radio. It's really hard to say anything longer than, you can't talk longer than 15 minutes, like, 15 or 15 seconds. 15 minutes, I wish. And we've been working on the radio side to try to open it up so that we can get more creators in there. We can start talking about more things. Like that's what we've been doing. But in the music industry, it's been like, there's a reason why Tupac died.
Yeah.
You know, there's a reason why, like, the people who have something to say, like the Nipseys, are not making it past a certain age.
27
That's
club or
very
shit like
clear.
that.
Well,
yeah, there's obviously something nefarious going on, and it definitely plays into, I mean, what Pac went through, what Kendrick's been messaging is trying to be, what he's been trying to get out. Like, they want to keep it low vibe shit because they want people to stay. And like you know, with programming, you don't get any
MK
choice
Ultra.
in the music you spin now. You don't get,
You're talking about
MK.
You're talking about MK Ultra shit, right? You know, TV programming, and you know they put that shit.
Well, yeah. I mean, you see it too with like this lawsuit with Drake and with Drake, right? The reason why he's doing, like, why he's suing is because he thinks that this is pay to play, like what's happening with Kendrick. But that's what Drake does.
That's what Drake does.
So that's why he thinks that's what's happening. That's what they do in radio. It is pay per play. That is how you get music on the. It is a relationship between the record industry and the radio industry. Like, jocks are not a part of that discussion at all.
No, neither are the programmers. The programmers were too busy getting kickbacks from indie record labels for pushing, you know, Olivia Rodrigo records. Like how do you explain? Like, Kendrick Lamar had the biggest song on the planet, and no CHR would play Not Like Us.
No, they did.
How do you explain that?
I don't know CHR. Tell me what that means.
They did. It took them a little bit.
CHR means pop music.
Commercial hit radio.
But
just like just bubblegum pop stuff.
But they were following the trend. They weren't setting it. Right. And that was the difference. And that's why Drake thinks that they paid to put it on the air, is because he doesn't understand that the radio industry is completely failing. It went from 17 billion a year ago. It's 12 billion this year.
In actual revenue
generated. They're completely down. They're collapsing. The whole industry is collapsing. And they don't get to decide what is cool anymore. They are chasing the attention. Yeah. So they have no choice but to put Kendrick Lamar's Not Like Us, because it is the most popular song in the world right now. And they need the attention. So
let me put this on real quick. This is an interview with Crazy Bone from Bone Thugs and Harmony. Let's see. This was from 4 years ago, I believe. No, this interview was longer ago than that. But he's talking about, if I can find the right spot, just a letter, I guess, that he got from someone that was in the industry talking about a party they went to. Yeah. Now this is. Have you all seen this yet? Okay, check this out.
After more than 20 years, I finally decided to tell the world.
And just as a preface, he's reading a letter or describing a letter that he got from someone else. This isn't him not speaking the first person.
What I witnessed in 1991, which I believe was one of the biggest turning points in popular music and ultimately American society. I have struggled for a long time weighing the pros and cons of making my story public, as I was reluctant to implicate the individuals who were present that day. So I've simply decided to leave out the names and all the details that may risk my personal well-being and that of those who were, like me, dragged into something they weren't ready for.
Damn.
Hold on, let me
So we gonna tell the story.
We gonna tell the story. We ain't scared.
You know what I'm saying? What they gonna do?
They after us, not just playing. It was different back then. Since technology and media weren't accessible to people like that, like they are today. The industry had more control over the public and had the means to influence them any way it wanted.
Right.
This may explain why in early 1991, I was invited to attend a closed-door meeting with a small group of business insiders to discuss rap music's new direction. Rap music's new direction.
Yeah. Now let's pause there. 1991, like, think about how like rap music started and where it was going at the end of the 80s. it was a lot of like, you know, there was some gangster rap to be sure, but it was a lot of just like fun party.
Like party
And then
music,
a lot of
house
stuff
music.
was coming out that was kind of, you know, Public Enemy was real big. And I was born in 1980, so I was witnessing all this firsthand. Like Public Enemy was like a big deal. And everything kind of shifted right around 1989, 1990. So
1989.
Little did I know we would be asked to participate in one of the most unethical and destructive business practices ever seen.
Crazy.
So this was the meeting. The meeting was held at a private residence on the outskirts of Los Angeles. I remember about 25 to 30 people were being there.
Right.
Most of them familiar faces. Speaking of those I knew, we joked about the theme of the meeting, as many of us did not care for rap and failed to see the purpose of being invited to a private meeting to discuss the future of hip-hop.
Talk to him.
Among the attendees was a small group of unfamiliar faces who stayed to themselves and made no attempt to socialize beyond their circle. Based on their behavior and formal appearances, they didn't seem to be from our industry.
okay, let me skip forward a little bit more.
The details about his personal background. I think he was the owner of the residence, but that was never confirmed. He briefly praised all of us for the success we had achieved in our industries and congratulated us for being selected as part of this small group of decision makers. At this point, I began to feel slightly uncomfortable in the strangeness of this gathering. The subject quickly changed as the speaker went on to tell us that the respective companies we represented had invested in a very profitable industry, which could become even more rewarding with our active involvement.
Damn.
He explained that the companies we worked for had invested millions into the building of privately owned prisons, and that our positions of influence in the music industry would actually impact the profitability.
Listen to this.
Listen to this. No, thank you.
I think I have seen this, by the way. I
don't want to play the whole thing. Everyone can go check that out. That is on. Let me see.
But basically, he's saying that like they're setting this up, and the future of hip hop is going to be negative based because the prison system's going to benefit.
Definitely.
That's why they tried to cancel Michael Jordan.
Huh.
They found out he was like they tried to cancel Michael Jordan because of this, but they said that he was funding all these private prisons and stuff, and to come to find out it was true.
Yeah.
So that's why people were like, yeah, they were trying to cancel Michael Jordan for that shit.
I put the link to that video in the comments in case anybody wants to check that out on their own, watch the whole thing. But it's sort of like people talk about the sexualization of women in hip hop, or like, you know, how basically a lot of female rappers are whoring themselves out, which is what they're saying. That's not what I'm saying, but it's sort of like a tricky balance. Like, you know, you want to be able to have the freedom to express yourself sexually.
Yeah, that's kind of wild that you say that, because look at Puffy with who would you say was like the first breakout sex idol? It was like what, Lil Kim?
Yeah,
Lil Kim, and then it just got nasty and nastier. Like now it's just like a freak nasty show.
Like you have someone like shit. Well, and you have someone like Megan Thee Stallion, who isn't known for being like, you know, super. Somebody said big bitty hoe.
That's my sister.
No, but like, you know, I love Megan Thee Stallion is a spitter. I don't care what anybody says. She's
got bars for days.
I don't think I don't really know how all of that inner stuff works on that side. But what I do know is that when you have a message that they can't control, when you want to talk and they can't control it, they don't fund it.
Right.
You know,
they'll just shelf you.
They'll shelf you. Or, you know, so like Kendrick getting into the industry, you know, having to code things and make it more, you know,
and coming back to like what he did with the BET cipher right after, that's why he laughs and high fives Schoolboy Q, because now
he had
Good Kid, Mad City had already blown up. It was already
jokes on you.
He should. I'm bulletproof. Like I'm in now. You can't do anything to me.
And because nobody caught it, it just kind of went over.
And I think the reason why no one caught it is because that following year in February,
they just shut it down. Well, he
Macklemore.
Oh, that was crazy. And J. Cole addressed that. J. Cole addressed that.
Candy Shop, correct?
You're telling me that Macklemore album?
That was the album that had Candy Shop on it?
Oh, you're talking about where popping tags or whatever.
Yeah, popping tags. Yeah, my bad.
Oh,
Candy Shop. I'm like, that's a 50 Cent.
No, that's 50 Cent song. Yeah, my bad.
That's 50 Cent. Yeah.
But so I'm gonna play just a snippet of that as well. Just to give people
it was a catchy song though.
Here's the most watched part. Check this out.
Kendrick dissed the Canadian rapper during his cypher
performance. I don't want to hear you talk about it.
Jokes on you, high five. I'm bulletproof, your shots will never penetrate. Pin a tail on the donkey, boy, you been a fake.
Now them's fighting.
Okay. Them
fighting words.
Because he can say it now.
And now here's the problem I have with that though. Those people get on and goes, them's fighting words, but like, which part stands out? Because what he's calling him is a party game. He's nothing. Like, you're just sitting there, like, and it just becomes this endless echo chamber where, like, that person, someone's gonna watch that YouTube video, then repeat it. You know what I mean? Like, there's no critical thinking of what.
Let me hit you with something real. Yeah, people, there's no critical thinking going on today anywhere, and that's one of the downsides of having this, access to pretty much everything. The internet gives you access to things that people didn't have access to years ago. That just, it's mind blowing. But people don't use it for that. They use it to copy other people because human nature is to be lazy.
Okay, so let me just say some of these lyrics from the BT Cypher that they don't really talk about. Where was I at? I'm the master that masturbated on your favorite MC.
Until the industry had wanted me assassinated.
Until the industry had wanted me assassinated. Either you're corny or an opportunist, which in Poetic Justice, or in it was Money Trees, which is another clue. Where's the perfect place
under a money tree? Under a tree.
Yeah.
Under money trees. If you look at the song order, what's under money trees?
Poetic Justice. On the album.
Until the industry had wanted me assassinated. You either corny or an opportunist. And in Money Trees, he says Halle Berry, hallelujah. You know, like he makes all these references to like
Hollywood or salvation.
You're either, I let you eat, now go back to church and steal crackers from communion. What are we doing? I'm about to crack the Da Vinci Code. Yeah. And nothing's been the same since they dropped control. That's where Drake figured out that he was a mark and that he didn't know what the hell he was doing. And he was playing a game. He didn't know.
I love the fact that you said he was a mark.
And tucked a sensitive.
Mark ass custard.
He is. He's a mark.
Mark ass custard.
Dude, he is.
Rapper back in his pajama clothes. Ha ha, joke's on you. Ha ha, I'm bulletproof.
Right.
Like, he literally tells you what happened.
He tells you exactly what happened.
Yeah, y'all have definitely done your research on this.
This is dope.
And then coming back. So this is the craziest thing. So mind you, we made that first video awkwardly 4 years before.
Yeah, it was so awkward.
Any of this had been talked about. 4 years before, like, anyone was talking about Drake and Kendrick.
Not like this. Not like this. Where we were talking about like how Drake was taking away from the Black community by exploiting it.
Yes.
Like for the benefit of him to enrich himself and other people, stealing from other creators.
Stealing from community. Like it's
stealing from the community. We were saying this 4 years ago.
Yes.
When everybody thought the craziest thing that happened between them was Control and the Cypher and the little tiny jabs here and there. So nobody was talking about it like this. And we're not saying that we discovered this because there are a lot of people who knew and obviously weren't, like didn't have a platform to talk about it. So, but as broadcasters, we felt responsible to say, hey, we think that this is what happened and we don't know why no one's talking about it.
Like when I tell you, we spent 3 weeks researching this.
We were unemployed.
I went through Rolling Stone after Rolling Stone article. I went through XL articles.
This was your COVID project.
Everything. Dude, I had so much time on my hands and I didn't want to look like a fucking idiot on the internet. I didn't want to look like a stupid white kid talking about shit that he shouldn't be fucking talking about.
I go through that every week on Thursday.
Yeah, somebody say Drake stole lyrics from Soulja Boy in the comics.
For sure.
Drake,
going on? Yeah,
he stole lyrics from.
He stole a whole verse from. You would know this, Troy. What's that? You don't even listen to him. He stole that one whole verse. Like it's the whole verse. On Who Do You Love?
From Soulja Boy.
No, on Who Do You Love, YG song. He stole He stole that whole verse from that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Who Do You Love? He stole that whole verse.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you go back and watch our old episodes, we had an interview with Thought Squad, which if you're into like hip hop talk, TikTok hip hop videos, you'll find her eventually. She's pretty dope. But we were talking about the fact that it's been known that he has a little bit of a pedophilia problem since like 2009 or something.
Oh, and he calls them R. Kelly.
And he calls him R. Kelly.
Right.
On his own album.
Crazy.
So they didn't catch it.
It's literally been going on since the jump.
Yeah, and we didn't catch the buried alive thing until Drake brought it up.
Until Drake brought it up in this beef, because.
And we were like, wait a minute.
I'm not a Drake listener by any means. Like when I was doing that studying, I did not study that man's discography. When I found out that Kendrick Lamar had an entire feature by himself on Drake's album, and he was saying the things that he was saying on that, it blew me away. I could not believe. And then that's why if you go back and you listen to the Heart Part 3, he says on the Heart Part 3, I never thought your favorite rapper would want a verse from me. He got hit 25 times with a K.
And then he references that in Euphoria.
Yeah.
The first time I shot me and Drake.
Yeah. Like it's
a double entendre.
It all connects because Kendrick has been on message and on brand from day one.
We don't see this as a conspiracy because we've got everything directly from
the lyrics.
and then we're confirmed when the beef dropped again in
May last year.
May last year. To us, that was confirmation because we were like, holy shit. And then people who followed the theory back in the day, they show up in the comment section
on the YouTube video,
and they're like, holy shit. Like, this was completely right. We sound corny as hell the whole time. We apologize for that.
Just be yourself. It's cool. If you're corny, be corny.
It is what it is. We're doing it from our kitchen on a 10 milligram and just trying to fucking power through 3 hours of content.
And a lot.
Yeah. So
you have to and I've the biggest thing for me is I have reached out to bigger content creators with bigger platforms who talk about this stuff.
And people have reached out to us to tell us we're correct, but will not talk
about it.
Now, are these people artists or are they?
These people are content creators who
but they won't talk about it.
And do what
That's
we
crazy.
Talk about. But we'll
do it over here at the rap yard, though.
Yeah.
That's a fact.
Which is why we were like, hell yeah, let's go.
I ran across the video and I watched it like 4 times and I was like, hold the fuck up.
Yeah. And maybe we should do.
Yeah. And the way we look at it is like, the way I look at it is like, you're in this echo chamber constantly. And it disorients the listener from the actual message on the song and on the track. And
we're trying to get DJs to be able to talk about the
real
songs,
things that's going on
and
and
be able
why
to
they
talk
connect
about
with the
songs
music.
like this
we both DJ.
Here.
Not just and not just go from one track to another inside of a radio show and keep it pushing. Like that to me is it's so outdated and it does such a disservice to your local community.
A lot of these radio stations, and people might not realize this, are like Clear Channel, or they're owned by, big companies that own record labels as well as other companies, So they are given a list of music to play, and they can't go outside of that.
They can't deviate. No.
Yeah, and then they give you prep sites that you have to pull stories
and now
from,
when you think about it, so expand on that, right? So you just talked about the music thing. Now talk about the prep services that all these jocks use. And now there's only 2 prep sites that you can get content from, Radio Ready, and read it on the air. And every single radio station in America uses those 2 prep services. So now you have the same music being played in the whole country. It doesn't matter what format you're on, whether it's country, rap, CHR, it doesn't matter. And then on top of that, now you have these jocks who pop in and out. They're all talking about the same things.
Same shit. And
it just leads to what you're seeing play out in real time with all the shit that's going on.
Yeah, that's a fact, because I'm a big Sirius satellite radio listening to it. I listen to it nonstop, and I mean, you ain't far fetched on there, especially on Shade 45. They talk about a lot of
Rude Jude's fantastic.
Oh, yeah, that's his name. What's his name?
That dude.
Rude Jude. Yeah,
Rude
I listened to Destroy. I like Destroy.
I Destroy. Yeah.
Yeah, I Destroy.
Rude Jude is based out of New Orleans, right?
I feel like. I thought he was Jersey.
Okay. I think there's a couple different ones. Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
He might be, but like the way I look at it, like in terms of like platforms and in terms of like content, like doing services for the community and shit, the only real one left is Swing Melody, period. Because they will actually have conversations about real shit that's going on. They're allowed to do long form stuff. They're allowed to do long form interviews. They have these artists come in. It's a platform to do bars and like perform their art.
Who else has a big problem with the radio industry? Kendrick Lamar.
Yeah, and Kendrick Lamar talks about the radio industry.
Him and Kanye and yeah.
And yeah, and he calls out Charlene and Andrew
Schultz.
Thought you were getting a little extreme sports over there or something.
No, this damn tripod is weird.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, it's just
the same, and that's why I think too we kind of understand like Kendrick's frustration with it, and like that's why we keep talking about it, is because we feel like his frustration with his industry.
Yeah,
it's shared on this side.
We have
like,
the same frustration, and then it's
right.
frustrating. It's very, very frustrating,
especially when you look at it. If what we're saying is true, right? Like playing devil's advocate, like we've done this so many times of the last 5 years. If what we're saying is true, it is the most beautiful piece of modern art, period.
That
full
the
stop.
Industry
that the industry is
talking about,
and that about poetic justice, about what he got Drake to do and get himself to do. Because
it sounds like there was like NDAs involved or something, because like the way that he talks about it in the BT cipher and in following songs, it sounds like it's something that he can't talk about. Right. But other rappers have also made references.
Right.
Pusha T makes references like, "How can you write your wrongs when you don't even write?"
When's the last time you heard Pusha T on the radio? You know what I mean?
Right.
I mean, there's
he's fired.
Well,
yeah.
Think about Beyonce. When she came out with Lemonade, and then she did the Super Bowl, and they were all pissed off about how she like had the cop car and the Black Panthers, and they were so pissed. That whole album was solid gold, and they didn't play any of that.
Jay-Z.
Like
no.
I was so
that was her Lemonade album.
Yeah, Jay-Z. If you hear Jay-Z, he clapped back at her and said, Lemonade was a popular drink, and it still is. Like coming at Beyonce, like even though that's his wife or whatever, because she made that.
I never knew that.
Yeah, he's talking about her.
That's wild.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's the crazy thing, because that was really her first album where she goes and deviates from the over-sexualized rap, like sing about nothing,
relationship stuff,
about
and
dancing,
time,
relationships.
Yeah, that has "I'm
whatever,
sorry" on there, right?
Surface level shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Yeah, and then, it's so. I mean, the whole album from front to back is just.
I'm glad you're a Beyonce fan, Deps.
But oh god,
her country. The fact that no country station in America was playing her country album.
Oh yeah, the Texas Hold'em song.
Any of it, the whole album's country.
They wouldn't touch Texas Hold'em. They would not touch that album. Country music. It got 0 radio play.
It's one of we've been listening to it like every morning.
It's incredible.
It's just a great album.
I think
we love all genres too. So we listen to a lot of different music, and we love the nods to different. To all the different genres and pulling it all together and the history of it, the thought.
And I'll tell you this, that genres are kind of like a way to divide and conquer people as well, because you'll have like Tyler, the Creator, who will make an album that is basically mostly R&B, but they'll call it a hip hop album or whatever, or Lil Wayne had a whole rock album. It was still a hip hop album.
Right. And that to me is like, so if you had to like, coming down to one thing, it's like the way I look at it is just respect these artists for their craft. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And to me,
well, I think it's
so
about we got to tear everything.
You got to tear it down. Start it from the start.
Do y'all think that's an inevitability about just the
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, like what we're doing right.
Like the. Go ahead.
I mean, everybody should just do what they can, like in their industry. Like that's what we're doing. We're trying to like fix we're trying to fix radio so that jocks like you guys can be on the radio talking about this, breaking this down on air.
Having a video element
like,
Like-
and having support
Right.
in
You
the
know what I
community,
mean?
and having, you know, like having doing the
Right.
shows you want to do, and talking about the artists you want to talk about,
And playing the music you want to play.
and platforming the artists that you want.
The way the internet is, you don't need a satellite. I mean, you don't need a radio tower, you don't need a satellite. You have the internet, you can go all over the world. So
Yeah, but where radio is very unique is that it has the ability to tie together all of these national creators, all these influencers on a local level, so that they can create together and support each other instead of being divided and having their money taken from management agencies that are outside of, you know, they're in, you know, Indiana and you're in New York, and all of this money is going out of the community instead of into the community. And all of the local radio money is going out of the community instead of into the community. So that's where radio is so unique, that it's local and that it can tie all of those elements together, and then also help the local community understand the art instead of having national news tell you that Tupac is this criminal who doesn't care about anything, instead of treating
Gangster
him like
thug
he's,
image.
you know, the artist and poet he is. So, you know, like that type of, like, that's the type of shit we're trying to do. And that's why it's important for like Kendrick Lamar to be recognized for the shit he's doing. And making it sound like it's just this petty beef between two artists is, you know, like, which is what the national stage is trying to do. That's not what this is about. This is so much deeper.
About the gentrification and all that shit.
Oh, it is. It's about all. It's class warfare. It's all of it. It's so important, with especially with what we're going. The last 10 days has been like my waking nightmare.
Why the last 10 days?
Since
right,
Trump
right.
has been
I'm sorry.
president. I mean, for everybody. I mean, you know, like it's fucking nuts.
I was just saying
you know,
something to somebody. I said my whole block's always filled up with cars, and there's parking from like both sides of the street. And I said, you know, a majority where I live at is Spanish, and all the stores around here are closed.
I'm from New Mexico. I'm from the border of Mexico. I grew up 30 minutes from Mexico. That's my community that's being impacted, and I'm very.
What city is that? You talking about?
I'm from
Deming?
Deming, New Mexico.
Okay.
It's literally it's a tiny town on the border of Mexico. So yeah.
I mean, everybody throughout the country, I'm sure, like for the most part, there's a community of Mexicans that are here without their, you know, legal papers, like, and they kind of keep the economy going, like, and they're low key, and they go to their own like clubs, and they have their own churches, and they, you know what I mean? I've never been in a community where there's a undocumented Mexican population that is causing trouble.
Yeah,
I literally like
doesn't make any sense.
Where I'm from, like I would literally get immigrants walking through my yard from the border, and nobody calls the fucking border patrol or ICE. They're criminals over there. They're literally criminals where I'm from. Border patrol are the ones trafficking guys, and I could pull up stories for you to prove that. They are the criminals. Nobody calls the cops on illegal immigrants crossing the border.
No.
When you're on the border, you give them water and you give them food because they're people, and that's what you should do. And my parents were part of search and rescue. Their whole job was to find and help, you know, like they had horses, and that's what they did, was go out and try to help people who get stuck out there, because it's dangerous and it's scary, and it's not anything that somebody does without needing to, you know. And honestly, anyone who has a problem with Mexicans just doesn't have any Mexican friends.
That's a fact. That's a fact. My best friends are Mexican.
They're literally the most
people
I took him to his first Mexican party.
Hey, people sure love their Mexican food, and
he was like we have pictures of him with like a cop, and he has like a gun in his hand. Like that's how drunk they got.
Oh my god, it's
dressed as like Jack Skellington, and he's just walking around.
And it's just like, it's just such a beautiful culture. You know what I mean? Like they genuinely love and care about each other.
Very family oriented.
And that's the thing that, very family oriented. Like I don't have problems with those types of people coming into my country.
I'm paying 10% on my phone here, so if it checks out, my bad.
Oh, you're good. What you got to plug?
Any more questions for us?
Well, we've kind of deviated a little bit, but I did post a
Sorry.
link. I did post a link to the video, the original video on your YouTube in the comments. If anyone wants to check that out, because it's an hour and 10 minutes.
Check out the follow-up too, because we literally filmed that in May
of last year.
We use all of the new beef stuff, and we connect it back to poetic justice and what Kendrick's actually saying.
We haven't made a third.
There's been years and years of work on y'all's part, and I know.
But we just wanted to start the conversation so that other people can pick up the work. I mean, I know that there are other people out there who know so much more about Kendrick and have been studying him, and maybe they just didn't make the connection, or maybe they did and they have stuff to add to it. There's so many people adding to the conversation in the comments, so it would be even better if people started making content about it so that they can start appreciating the whole
gotta check out
the whole body of work.
And if you make a video and put it
Just
on
the whole
TikTok,
album, really, the whole album.
Yeah, the whole GNX is crazy, but
and you're talking about the video part of it.
We have to carve out a week.
Yeah, when you do it, tag me on TikTok, because I'm telling you, that shit's gonna blow your mind.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I can't wait. Yeah.
But yeah, literally, like, it's fantastic music. Like, it's so important.
Would you go so far as to say that he would be to our generation, or this generation's Tupac?
Facts.
Yes.
I would go beyond that.
I'd go, yeah.
Not only is he our Tupac, I think he is one of the I think what he has done, I don't even know if there's a word, because of how big and how long he's been doing this and how intricate and how detailed. I don't know what you would even call this. It's like finding like the Sistine Chapel or something, like underground, like, like he's been working on this piece of art underground for over a decade.
Really?
Like, I don't know what you would call that, but I just feel like people are going to be studying this for generations.
The prestige.
I do too.
I think.
Because when have you ever heard of a rapper getting another rapper to diss themselves on a song that they're doing together?
That's kind of fucking devious, bro.
Yeah, it's nasty.
That's super
devious. What I'm
devious.
saying? Like, that is not only career ending, it's like, of course the industry tried to protect Drake. Of course they stepped in and intervened. Of course, because look at what you're going to do. All of that investment that you're going to make into Drake, being the stream god, being the sixth god, all that shit, all that goes away if the community finds out and the culture finds out what happened on Poetic Justice.
No, well,
because now you're ostracized. You're not a rapper. You're a pop artist, and it's fine. And Kendrick speaks to that, right? Kendrick says, like, keep making me dance and wave my hands, and you won't be a threat. Like, it's fine.
He said, we like Drake when you singing. We don't like Drake when you acting tough.
I don't like Drake when he acts tough.
Right.
I agree.
I have a feeling Drake's gonna be like selling like timeshares in like, Puerto Rico or something after this.
So,
he's gonna have to go move somewhere and change his identity.
Let's hope. Well, we appreciate you coming on.
Definitely.
And it was this time went by really fast. Just talking about this is very entertaining and just for me myself. But everyone go check them out.
Yeah.
What's both your TikToks and tell people where?
Oh, I'm Desiree. I'm
at Deseree Rose, and then mine is, what is it? The Anthony Imbrunone Show.
And spell that out because I misspelled it. I just realized in the description.
So it's ANTHONY, and then Imbrunone, IMBRUNONE.
Yeah, you should try to spell your name into that Usher song.
Bro.
Usher song.
Yeah.
I always remember it. I go IMB Run 1.
Yeah, IMB Run 1.
It took me forever. I couldn't say his name if I was reading it.
When
it was irritating. I was like, I can't look at it.
I am also probably a little bit on the spectrum, and I also am part Italian. So there's some camaraderie there.
I love it.
Hey, how you doing?
Hey, I'm part Coppola. Hey. That's my mom's name. So
take the gun, leave the cannoli.
Oh, right on. Yeah, take the gun. Yeah,
we are also
leave the gun.
Or take the cannoli, whatever.
I'm gonna take the cannoli. I'm hungry.
I love Sopranos. I love Godfather. We watch that shit.
I'm taking the cannoli.
So good.
Right.
So good.
This was so much fun. We really enjoyed it.
Everyone give them a follow.
So anytime you
For
guys
sure.
Yeah, everybody in the chat follow.
And maybe it'll update. Here's hoping. Now it's frozen on me. No, I'm saying this. I tried to update the title. There it goes. Okay. All right. Thanks for coming on, y'all, and we'll see y'all next week.
Thank you guys.
Bye.
Bye.
Yeah. See ya.